Hi, Mark here from suddenlydiabetic.com, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about blood glucose monitors and monitoring. When you first get diagnosed as being either diabetic or pre-diabetic, uh, one of the best tools that you can have in your arsenal is a blood glucose meter. Um, I got really introduced to the concept of monitoring my blood sugar using a meter, um, and the concept too of eating to the meter is in this book, and it's one I've recommended before to you, but it's 60 Ways to Lower Your Blood Sugar by Dennis Pollock. And right here in chapter 1, he talks about monitoring thyself. And this is like a great foundation of this book, is using your monitor. And why that's important is, we all know that sugar is kind of the enemy if you have diabetes, but things like, starches, flour, a lot of things that you wouldn't think would be a problem until you get educated cause your blood sugar to rise. So by monitoring yourself um, after you eat, generally usually they say about 2 hours after you eat, you should test yourself. You're going to know, maybe by keeping a food diary, you're going to know, this is what I had for lunch, or this is what I had for dinner today. And it's not a bad idea. You don't have to be crazy about it, but even knowing like what your portion sizes were, um, the meter isn't going to lie. So when you test your blood sugar with a meter, you're going to know exactly where you stand. And in the blog post that's going to accompany this video, there's more information on what the levels are depending on, if you're pre-diabetic, you have type 2 or type 1 diabetes, what the acceptable ranges are. But I'll leave that for the blog post rather than trying to explain all that in the video. What I wanted to show you today is the meter that I use. This is Freestyle Precision Neo meter by Abbott. And one of the reasons I chose this meter, number one, it was recommended to me by a pharmacist. Um, when I first went to go get a meter, I had no idea what I was shopping for. And I went into a Rite Aid store, and I kind of was standing there like, what do I buy? I don't really know what I'm buying here. So the pharmacist was, slow, and I asked him, and he said, well, this is the meter I recommend. And one of the reasons, which he pointed out to me, which I would have never known, is when you're buying a meter, the main thing you need to look out for, not only obviously is the features and that it's a good meter, it's going to do the job, but it's the cost of the test strips. A lot of meters, that's where they get you, is when you go to get your test strips, they're going to be really high. Yesterday I picked up a package of 50. I got these, I think, at Walmart. It was around $14 for 50 test strips. So that's just an idea. You can probably get them cheaper, through Amazon or through eBay. Thing you need to remember is these are dated. They're like freshness dated. So if you want to check to see if that information is there, just to make sure that they're not, too old. They will degrade over time. So you don't want to get ripped off buying some strips that are, 10 years old or something like that. So when you get a kit like this is what you get. You get a little packet like this. I'm just going to open it up. Inside, you have your test meter. You have this lovely little torture device. This is what you end up sticking yourself with in order to get the blood to do the test. I can't remember the exact technical name for this, but I'll put it in the post. Anyway, to get started, the other thing you need is what's called lancets. And so there's several parts. You need the meter, you need a lancet, you need a test strip, and you need probably like some alcohol swabs or something like that, just to kind of clean your hands. You're supposed to wash and dry your hands before you test yourself just to make sure, you're not going to infect yourself or something like that. So to start out with, you need to load a new lancet in to your meter. I got one. So the lancets look like this. So you're going to twist the top off or pull it off, and you're going to load the lancet into your meter. Then you're going to twist this top off to basically expose the needle. You then have the little switch here. Let's move that over where you can see it. You're just going to pull down on that switch, and that's in the lower position. As you can see, the needle's kind of out of sight, and you're ready to go. So then you're going to put the cap back on, okay, and there's an adjustment up here at the top. In my case, generally it needs to be set on 3 in order for it to work to, give me a decent stick so I get enough blood for the test. So I'm going to set that down for a minute. This is kind of like what the test strips look like. So I'm just going to peel one off. Of course I get one I got to, fight with. There we go. This is what the test strip looks like. You're going to take your meter. You're going to take this bar-coded end. You're going to stick it into the meter like so. Okay? And you have a little area near the end of the strip. That's where you're going to put your blood. So you take your lancet. They tell you to do it on the side. I've found myself, maybe it's just I have poor circulation, I'm not real sure. I have a hard time getting a sufficient blood sample. One of the things when you're buying a meter too is you like to get a meter that you don't need to have a huge blood sample in order to get a reading. And that was one of the features of the Precision Neo. And I should mention, I think this kit goes for around $15. And when you first get that, it has, some test strips. I think it's like 25. You have some lancets included in the kit, and so you really have everything you need to get started just inside this kit. Okay, here comes the moment of truth. So you press this up against, like I said, a lot of people will tell you to do it on the side. For me personally, I just do it in the pad and press the button. You're going to get a little prick. When you first do this, you're going to be a little nervous about it. It's just human nature. Nobody likes pain. And right now I'm just trying to coax some blood out of here. Here we go. It's kind of like you need to press on your finger a little bit and get a nice droplet going there. So here we go. I got a little drop of blood here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on the meter. Okay, just like that. And it's hard to see here, but you can see that it's counting down. Wow. So my blood sugar reading is 63, which is pretty awesome. Now, this is at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Haven't had a whole lot to eat today, but that's a good reading to have for somebody in my situation. So basically that's it. You get the reading. This will store on the meter, or you can keep a logbook, which is what I do. In my post I will talk a little bit about when you first get diagnosed, you're going to monitor yourself when after you eat, just so you educate yourself again about your portions and everything else, and kind of the effect of certain foods. like I said, the meter doesn't lie. Um, you're going to see all kinds of advice out there about what to eat, what not to eat. Some of it is, in my opinion, not stringent enough. They'll say, well, you can eat fruit. Well, what kind of fruit? What size of a fruit? I mean, an apple, is supposed to be good for you. There's fiber. I like apples, but being diabetic, I can probably eat a half an apple and keep my blood sugar under control. So, you know, um, apple juice, you know, apple juice has got, I think, 29 grams of sugar. So you're thinking you're eating something that's good for you and it'll be better for you than that, bottle of Coke that you used to drink that you enjoyed. So you're going to drink apple juice. Well, duh. It still has sugar in it. It's still going to cause your blood sugar to spike. So the meter really does help to educate you. It doesn't lie to you. You can see exactly where you stand after you eat, and you can adjust your diet accordingly, either by the portion size or you're going to eliminate that food from your diet to stay within your blood sugar range. So I hope that my little demonstration today helped you and that you learned, this is nothing to be afraid of. Even if you're needle phobic, it's just a little stick. It doesn't take a huge sample in order to get a reading. Um, and you can change, where you stick yourself so you're not sticking yourself in the same spot all the time. If you're pre-diabetic like I am, it's not necessary to test yourself constantly. But, you know, the schedule that I talk about in the post will work well for you. Initially you're going to be testing yourself a lot after you eat so you know what you're doing. But then you may want to test yourself first thing in the morning. You may want to test yourself at night before you go to bed. You may want to test yourself various times just so you kind of have a plot of your blood sugar over, say, a week or 2 week period of time. And it's going to point out to you where you're deficient. And, if you're having that evening snack that you just got to have, you may read your blood sugar right before you go to bed and it may be way too high. And you'll have to say, well, I'm going to have to change what I eat. So anyway, that's it. I hope you've gained something from the demo today. And for more information, go to my website, suddenlydiabetic.com, or you can go to my Facebook page, which is Sudden Diabetic. That's a Facebook page. And there'll be links in the blog post, which will be below the video. Okay, enjoy your day.